Elliott here, Lazy Dogs Records, and I recently did a video where I showed some VCLT and the new vinyl records that I purchased, and didn't want that video to run too long, so I'm doing a separate video where I'd like to share you things I picked up at the record show, Greg Neal's record show that comes through 4 times a year to Raleigh. They go to Charlotte on Saturday usually, and Raleigh on Sunday, and they've got a circuit. He's got a circuit that he runs, but went back this time, small crowd, not nearly as large show as we had pre-pandemic, but thought I would, but I did pick up some great deals. I ended up, I'm always shopping for bargains there. I don't normally go in there and pay high dollar for records. That's not my thing at the record shows. I've got a little booth where I sell records at an antique shop, and one of the things I had in mind to offset the cost of this trip were to pick up some records for $1 or $2 each that I could clean up, put in new inner and outer sleeves, and put out at my shop. So I got about 10 or 11 of those records. I'm not going to show you those, but the idea is to turn around. I spent about, with the $2 admission fee, I think I spent $87 at the record show. I got 10 or 11 records, which will be about $55 once they sell at the antique shop, if they do sell, of course. You never know. So ended up, once I recoup my investment a little bit, I'll end up, the trip only costing me, about $35 or so, plus the gas to get up there, which isn't cheap these days. Anyway, here are the records, some of the records I got that I plan on, obviously, adding to my collection. Okay? Now, some of these records were dollar records, and some of them were for $10. There were a couple of $10 records and a few $5 records, or $3 records. So I'll show you and kind of go along. Under the Ragtime Moon, Ian Whitcomb. This was in the dollar pile. I may not keep this one. I listened to it just before or earlier today. I was hoping for more of a ragtime piano, and it is there, of course, but there's lyrically a lot more to this, and it's something I may not keep. I don't know if there'll be any interest from anybody out there on that one at my record shop, but I may put it out there and see if it moves. Okay. Also, could not believe this was $1. Roy Bookbinder. Love Roy. And he did a couple of albums with Fats Kaplan. And Fats Kaplan plays the violin and the tenor banjo. And of course, Roy does guitar and 6-string banjo. And he does a lot of Piedmont blues, among other things. There are the 2 gentlemen there. Roy, the one with the guitar, of course. And they do, he does some Bo Carter, some Bessie Smith on here, Pink Anderson, Lion Blake, just a couple of their compositions, Sam McGee, David Van Rock, and just a good, this is on Blue Goose Records. Blue Goose. He had several albums on Blue Goose. This is the second Roy Bookbinder album I've picked up. I really like the first one, and this one's extremely enjoyable. Dollar record, cleaned up, plays nearly perfect. Not in M or, it's strictly speaking very good plus, but pretty darn close to very good plus. Now here's what made the trip worth it all to begin with. I mean, first thing I find, I could not believe Greg Neal had this one in his collection. I am a completist when it comes to Norman Blake. I was lacking about 4 of Norman's albums. This is one of them. Norman Blake and Red Rector. And this is on County Records. Great record label. And plays close to VG Plus, cleaned up. Maybe, I mean, a lot of people would sell it as VG Plus or near mint on Discogs, but I'm a stricter grader here. Charlie Collins plays second guitar on here, and Roy Husky Jr. plays the bass. Red Record on the mandolin, of course. Little water damage tear right here. Maybe that's why it ended up being $5. Doesn't bother me one bit. So glad to get that. Now, try to kind of put this in some semblance of order here. I got several records on Flying Fish, label out of Chicago. This is a promo copy, Trapezoid, and it's called Another Country, folk album. And two records from one of the great old time Tin Pan Alley, 20s jazz, ragtime. What do you call these guys? I don't know. Ended up getting this. This was, even though it says 3 here, I think I ended up paying $1. This is one I got for $1. Red Clay Ramblers, Twisted Laurel. And band out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Had a long career. A lot of albums on Flying Fish. This is from 1976. Mike Carver, Jim Watson, Jake Herrick, Tommy Thompson, Bill Hicks on the fiddle. And got that one for $1. Had to pay $10 for this one, Merchant's Lunch, from the Red Clay Ramblers. And there they are. Mike Cross's Child Prodigy. I've got all these. I've probably got 2 of these already. But this is, I think, his first album, Child Prodigy. I've got it in there's a couple of different covers. And I got, Carolina Jump Blues. This is a compilation. Different artists on here. Chris Keaton and Carter Minor. And they bill 5 guys named Mo here. But there's no song credited to 5 guys named Mo. It's kind of strange. I'm assuming they make up the backing band and they have individual artists getting the credit for those. I don't know. Another $5 record, Little Western Swing from Alvin Crow. This was WLIK from 1977, a promo copy. And this is on Polydor Records. Alvin Crow and the Pleasant Valley Boys, it's called. Looking forward to swinging that, get a little Western swing going. And then for $10, Doc and Merle Watson. I thought I had this album, but I could not remember for sure. And it's a nice copy. Lonesome Road, this one's called. And let's see, this is on United Artists. Okay. He actually had 2 copies of this, both of them for $10. One had a rougher looking vinyl and a clean jacket, and the other the opposite, a rough looking jacket and clean vinyl. I asked him if I could switch them up and match them up, and he agreed to let me do that. So I did that. So I got the cleaner jacket and the cleaner vinyl in that case. Of course, I'm kind of a completist when it comes to Norman Blake and Doc Watson. Can't be a completist with Doc, really, but you can come close, and that's my attempt. And then some Jump Blues, Winona Harris, R&B, Winona Harris. Mr. Blues is coming to town. This is on Route 66 in Samano record. Gave him $5 for that record. And from the same vendor, $5 from 1976, Blues Live in Japan, Robert Jr. Lockwood, and the Aces. And continuing with the blues, this is a record I got for, I think, $3. I don't think I paid that much for it. It's an older record. Looking forward to looking this one up. Josh at Midnight, Josh White. And this is on Elektra Records. Never seen that look for Elektra. This looks like it probably, but it's 1956 copyright on here, and it looks every bit that old. Hopefully it'll play well. Then some jazz. Atlantic Jazz Piano, got this for $250. And this has got all the greats that recorded on Atlantic. Thelonious Monk's on here. Aaron Gardner. Even has Ray Charles on here. Randy Weston. Bill Evans is on here. McCoy Tyner. John Lewis. But a little compilation. So, there's enough artists on there. I'm playing. If I hear something I really like, then I'll go looking for their actual. And then the last one I got, $250. I paid for it. The Best of Modern Jazz Quartet on Atlantic. The second or third modern jazz quartet that I purchased. And finally, for $1, I got this. This was sealed when I got it. Some blues band from the New England, I believe. Maybe it was Rhode Island. But the recording on Powerhouse Records in Falls Church, Virginia. But maybe this is a Mid-Atlantic band, more like Maryland or Rhode Island. I'm not sure. Powerhouse. Anybody know anything about this band? The seller seemed to know something about them, but he said a couple of guys are still recording and playing. But this was, I think, recorded in '75, but not released until '85. Powerhouse. So, those are the records I picked up at the record show that I went to last week. Everybody, remember, be kind to your neighbors, because we're all neighbors.